politics. Few would disagree that we are living in divided times. The gap between competing visions of the future and our very identity as a nation has never been greater. So what better solution to heal this toxic atmosphere, not to mention these times of austerity, than a new £300,000 statue of Margaret Thatcher? Excellent. Yes, I am being serious. The most divisive political leader in generations is about to be commemorated with a new bronze monument in her hometown of Grantham in Lincolnshire. Those who have followed my work know that I'm no fan of statues at the best of times. This particular sculpture was already rejected by Westminster Council in London because of its magnetic appeal to protesters and vandals. I don't condone crime, but I also don't underestimate how strongly people feel about the harm done by Mrs. Thatcher, whose policies set this country on a path to being one of the most unequal in the developed world. Why not use the money to help those who are still struggling to cope with her legacy instead?
Oh.
You do it deliberately.
All your favourite
times.
This is like Christmas. This is like Thatcher must fall. Thatcher must fall panel.
It's not must fall, just don't put her up.
No, hold on. OK. Afua. Mrs. Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher, of blessed memory,
yes,
was our first female Prime Minister. Love her or loathe her, she has an absolute right to be honoured with a statue in her hometown of Grantham. I mean, given the paucity of female role models, the paucity of statues representing actual historic female figures, not to have a statue of Mrs. Thatcher would be an absolute outrage.
Well said. Well said.
So that's the best you can, because she's a woman, women should venerate her.
She's a role model. I didn't say she was just because she's a woman.
For women. She did more to harm equality than any other leader in my lifetime.
Will you allow that she saved the economy?
No.
You don't think... So this idea of...
Let me show you a stat about the personal cost, people, and low-income, working-class people. I've got a stat for you.
All right, OK.
3 million workers were unemployed while Mrs. Thatcher was Prime Minister. And during her time in office, over 187,000 miners went on strike because of cuts. She created the destruction of banking reforms that helped create the credit crisis. She helped create the neoliberalism that has made us unequal. There are so many of our current problems that began with her.
Phil, and then I've got to give a quote from the council.
Afua, will you concede that she did anything decent?
I am not disrespecting her as a person.
Yes or no?
I just disagree with her policies fundamentally.
Did she do anything decent? Did she do well? Anything? Come on.
I'm not a fan of, as you may have noticed.
Did she do anything well? Yes or no? It's a 50-50. Yes, no. Yes, she did, Phil. No, she didn't, Phil. Come on. Did she do anything decent?
If you're asking me what my view of her legacy is, I would say it is a negative and destructive one.
So she didn't do anything decent. So I'm going to have to take that as a no. I have to disagree with that. Absolutely, Phil. I have to disagree with that.
The problem is that the more we talk about, if we just like piece through her legacy, yes, she did some good things, yes, she did some bad things. We have the council leader saying that they're going to have to police the statue as a result of everybody just deciding if somebody wasn't 100% perfect in everything they did, they don't deserve to have a statue. Can we just hear from this lady from the council, please? Our police are struggling to manage without the additional burden of policing a statue that has potential to be vandalised. I understand Margaret Thatcher's statue is currently out of sight in a secret location, but perhaps it should stay there. I understand that they're going to have to...
Just to clarify, that's the Labour leader. This is not the leader of the council.
OK, so she's saying we shouldn't have this statue.
Section. Just to clarify that. On you go, Rachel. Yep,
well,
sorry about that.
I just think it's sad that we live in a society whereby, you know, people's statues are... We've seen war memorials being vandalised. We've seen Karl Marx's statue being vandalised. Nobody is perfect, so everybody is up for grabs.
I think it's good we live in a society where we critique people's legacy.
I've got another point for you on this as well. Nelson.
Oh, no.
Not the top of the column, but the one in Parliament Square, Nelson Mandela. He's got a statue, all right?
Yeah,
and rightly so. And rightly so.
She called him a terrorist.
He did good. No,
she called him a terrorist.
He started a militia. He was a convicted terrorist.
Oh, you think he's a terrorist as well?
Can I bring it back to Margaret Thatcher? And I take back what I just said about you, because I agree with you. I agree with you on this topic. Yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Let me just show you the number, by the way, of male versus female statues in the UK, just as an interesting point. So 534 male statues in the UK. and when it comes to women, 174. So I just want to correct you, because you made a statement that actually, when Rachel said about Margaret Thatcher being a role model, you said she's not a role model to women. So I want to correct you, because actually she is quite a role model to me.
Fine.
And the reason, yeah, but you made a sweeping statement that she's not a role model.
Assume she's a role model for all women just because she's a role model to you.
Let me address your point, because what she and other people like her, because I really do believe that I can achieve anything that I want. I don't believe my gender holds me back. You might call me deluded, but I don't believe that. I think that I can. I feel like I can do anything. And one of those reasons that I have that belief is because of people like Margaret Thatcher, the daughter of a greengrocer or whatever it was. Yeah. She rose up in a significantly male-dominated field to become the very, very top of her industry and field. And I respect that. She may have made some ridiculous decisions. You know, she did many things that I disagree with, but I massively respect the achievement that she made. And in this environment where we're constantly telling little girls you're going to be discriminated against, we must be showing them areas where they won't be.
One thing I can't understand, Afua, you know how it's funded, don't you, the statue?
Yeah, it's been funded by charity and by
it's privately funded.
Yeah, I didn't say it was taxpayer money.
No, but you did mention the money. Use the money. You
if
said
somebody's got £300,000 to donate, I can think of some better
causes. You said use the
causes.
money to address the inequalities. But this is privately funded. Who are you to tell them how to spend their money?
If somebody would like to donate £300,000 to inspiring girls, for example, I can think of more effective ways of building a bronze
maybe they
statue.
think that does inspire women.
I'm sure they do. That's why we're having a debate. I disagree. You think it's great. That's what debates are about. I think I represent people who find her legacies one that is still painful and feel that intergenerational British people are still living out. Well, that's his view, and he's entitled to it.
But he's not trying to stop a Nelson Mandela statue.
And it's there for a reason, because, you know, he's perceived to have done some good.
I have said before, I am not a fan of the way we erect statues, period, because I think it oversimplifies people's legacy. It encourages us to hero worship people who are flawed and are complex. Thatcher is a particularly extreme case, in my opinion, because we are still dealing with the fallout of the reforms that she created. This whole Brexit movement is partly a result of the Euroscepticism she engendered in the Conservative Party in the country. The closure of mines in communities without any plan as to what would replace mining and industry in parts of the north and the south are still have left a legacy.
We're not denying some of that. We're not denying some of that, Afua. But what we are saying is some of the achievements that she did make in her life make it worthy enough for her to put them on a plinth.
I disagree. You're entitled to your view. I don't think we should have a statue of her. She's extremely divisive, and there are a lot of people who feel like me. I'm not just some fringe, loony lefty, as I'm sure the Express will report after having seen this debate.
I've got to file it now.
Who single-handedly feels this way about her. And I think it's provocative. And if you look at the comments of the councillors who back this statue, some of them have admitted that the only reason they really want it is to encourage tourism to grant them, not because they think it's a powerful legacy.
One day there will be a statue of Afua.
I will be
somewhere in Berkeley Square.
I was just about to say, for the record, if anyone wants to erect a statue of me in Hull, please feel free.